Yesterday, Congress held a hearing with the ATF. Now, I think a lot of these hearings are good-natured but won't actually do anything due to the Democrats controlling both the Senate and the White House. I appreciate the sentiment nonetheless, and honestly, anything that actually distracts Congress from taking away our freedoms is a win in my book, even if it just temporarily stalls them, because they love doing that. Before we get any deeper into this, like, subscribe, turn the notifications on, share around if you're feeling generous. Follow my socials at Caleb Isn't Funny on Twitter and Instagram, Caleb Salvatore Comedy on TikTok. Might be getting banned soon, so maybe not so much. And then my show, That's Based with Caleb Salvatore. Episodes air 9 a.m. Central Standard Time every single Saturday. Rumble, Spotify, Spreaker, Apple Podcasts, and iHeartRadio. Again, That's Based with Caleb Salvatore. All links in the description. It's brought to you by Outlaw Streamers, where you can go to www.outlawstreamers.com to learn more. Go check it out. They don't let us post full videos to YouTube, but you can go watch it and you'll maybe see why. So yes, the ATF is holding, or the ATF had to testify in front of Congress yesterday. As we all know, the ATF has seen their budget dramatically increased along with their powers under the Biden administration, and this is all part of their plan. The ATF is a political tool. I want to make that clear. The ATF is not a law enforcement agency. We can agree or disagree on the FBI, which I believe has been weaponized for political purposes as well. The DEA agency, the CIA agencies like that. The ATF is the only one that does not serve it, has never served a legitimate law enforcement purpose. Never. They may claim to, but their sole purpose since their founding has been to terrorize American citizens, particularly people that the current regime doesn't agree with. You look back at Waco, and everyone likes to justify it as well. That guy Koresh was a child molester. David Koresh, I mean, he was marrying people's 12-year-old daughters. Koresh was trash. But, I mean, everyone knows the best way to save kids from an abusive psychopath like David Koresh is to burn them alive. Crazy how that, I mean, what was I thinking? The fact was David Koresh went on a morning jog down the road by himself every single day. He went into town several times a month on a strict schedule to purchase supplies and get his hair cut. They could have made an arrest on David Koresh without making a scene and with minor incident compared to what happened, but they didn't, because it was never about protecting kids. It was never about arresting David Koresh. It was about the bully being able to flex its arm. It was about them showing the American people, reminding the American people that they own us. And they've gotten worse and worse every single year. The ATF is the closest thing to a terrorist organization that we have roaming the streets in the United States. They are the equivalent of the Mexican cartel here in the United States. They are the only ones that, seriously, I mean, police, anyone else shoots an American citizen, you may not agree with the punishment for it, but there's definitely consequences one way or another. The ATF is the only organization out there that has the license to massacre American citizens and get away with it and not do time in jail. Do you know the same sniper that killed Randy Weaver's kid at Ruby Ridge was also present at Waco? They gave people awards for massacring families at Ruby Ridge and Waco. That's what the ATF thinks about you. You are game to them. You are nothing more, than a hunting trophy on their wall when they kill you. They don't see you as human. So again, I'm glad that the ATF is getting their day in court. Unfortunately, I don't think it's going to go far because the Democratic Party is going to see to it. They hate cops unless they're enforcing their laws. Isn't that crazy? Isn't that why they hate police? Unless they're enforcing gun control or, lockdowns or mandating you use proper gender pronoun. I mean, who knows, right? So that's great. So the ATF's big thing under the Biden administration, well, they've really done two things recently. They have gone to people's houses after they've purchased guns and said, hey, we saw a background check pop under your name. We just wanted to make sure you had this and you weren't doing a straw purchase. That's never happened before. This is new under the Biden administration. This is brand new under the Biden administration. And it's not about following up to crack down on straw purchases. It's about intimidating gun owners. It's about intimidating American citizens because the ATF, again, serves no purpose other than to terrorize its citizens, to strip them of their most basic human right to self-defense. So they go door to door, they knock on doors and say, hey, we saw you purchase these guns. Could you come out and show them to us? You know what you do if someone does that? You call 911. You say, I think I have someone here impersonating a federal agent asking me to come out and see or bring my guns out so he can see them. I think this is a casing. Can you please send an officer down? And that's what you do. That's the lady did that. And the guy got tased by the police. Tased and choked. Perfect. He's suing for police brutality. Personally, I don't think they went far enough. Beyond me, though. The next thing they've done is the pistol brace ban. Pistol braces are essentially what those were invented for, was for disabled people, particularly veterans, to be able to shoulder a weapon easier, you know, if they had some type of weakness in their arms or something like that. And they decided that those were a pistol brace, or excuse me, that those were a short-barreled rifle. And anyone who owned one, due to their most recent arbitrary ruling that didn't go through Congress, and they just decided to make millions and millions of people felons overnight. Well, that's probably not going to hold up in court. I certainly hope not. Our homeboy Clarence Thomas will shoot that down, no pun intended. But it's the fact that an organization can do that, even if it gets shot down in the Supreme Court, or even if it gets taken out in court, the fact that an organization can do that is insane. It never went through Congress. There's no representation involved. It's an executive. You're a law enforcement agency. Could you imagine if the police came out, like your local? This is the equivalent on a national scale, because pistol braces have been legal up until December, January, whenever it passed. Could you imagine if like your local sheriff's department came out and said, hey, we're changing the rules. No, we didn't go through the city council or the state legislature or anything, but it's now illegal to own a German Shepherd dog breed. There's nothing you can do about it. There's no one to go to. There's no one that voted on this. You never got a chance to call your congressman or anything. We just decided as a law enforcement agency that we're going to ban this thing that's been legal up until now. And if you have it, you have 180 days to turn it in or you're a felon. This is the national scale equivalent of that. That's what they did. They turned millions and millions of Americans into felons overnight without going through Congress. There was no representation involved, nothing. And half of the not half, 3/4 of the liberals in this country applauded them and cheered them on while they did it. Again, if you're going to set a precedent, guys, you have to ask yourself, what is going to happen when this precedent gets used against me? Because power changes hands, and people forget that. And when power changes hands, they inevitably turn and use that same precedent that you set against them against you. So ask yourselves, how is this precedent going to be set against me? And even if it does go, the problem is even if it does go through court, that's going to take years and years to reverse. Hopefully it'll be a little bit quicker with it because it's such a big issue. It's going to take a long time to reverse, and you don't get, the problem with that is you have to have a victim. So someone has to go to jail before we can get this in motion. So someone has to get that no-knock raid at their house in the middle of the night. The ATF shows up and shoots their dogs like they always do. And then they take them away in front of their children and put them in jail and try to fine them, $250,000 or whatever the ridiculous fee is. So someone actually has to be a victim in order for this law to really get challenged in court. So, yeah, I mean, it's great that it's going to get repealed, but how would you like to be that guy? That guy's got to go down hard for this. Someone's got to be a victim. Someone's got to, live through a traumatic event of getting carried away for a victimless crime. For what? It's completely insane to me that they even have the power to do this. The next president that comes in, if one of their, because the Republicans are going to take Congress back eventually, and they'll eventually have a House, Senate, and President, majority. If they've got any stones, they will abolish the ATF. Gut it completely. Gut it completely. There's no reason that you can't have like the health department and the FDA manage alcohol and tobacco. Firearms, why do you need why do you need an agency to enforce gun laws? I thought local police, FBI, groups like that were supposed to be the ones that enforce the gun laws. Why do you need a federal agency that specifically enforces guns? Or it specifically enforces laws against guns? Why can't that be handled at the state and local level? Because it's not about law enforcement, and it's not about cracking down on illegal guns. Of course it's not about cracking down on illegal guns. The ATF was literally selling automatic and semi-automatic weapons to the Mexican drug cartels. It's never been about cracking down on illegal guns. They are the ones that distribute these illegal guns. Excuse me. Same way the CIA distributed crack to the inner cities back in the 80s. They're the ones if they're telling you something's bad and it's in our streets and it's running rampant, odds are they distributed it as a fear tactic or a control tactic or both. The ATF serves no purpose, no law enforcement purpose that can't be handled adequately on a state or local level. The only purpose the ATF serves is political persecution. And who better to politically persecute, harass, and terrorize than the only people who could stand up to you, which are the gun owners. Anyway, that's been this video. That hasn't really been our show because this isn't the show episode. This is just a bonus video on YouTube. That's been this video. Make sure you guys click the links in the description. Go check out my full show. Follow my socials, all that stuff. Website's coming, hopefully, eventually. I don't know, man. You can follow my show. That's Based airs tomorrow, 9 a.m. Central Standard Time. All the links are in the descriptions. You can go watch the most recent one to get caught up on it. Thank you guys for watching so much. Cheat on your taxes, not your spouse. Peace out and stay based.
Hey, thanks for watching. Be sure to like, subscribe, turn the notifications on, and share around if you're feeling generous. It would really mean a lot to me if you guys did that. You can follow all my socials at Caleb Isn't Funny on Twitter and Instagram, Caleb Salvatore Comedy on TikTok, Caleb Salvatore on Rumble right below. They're also in the description. You can literally just click them and go to the website just through the link. There's no additional work required on your end. I promise you, you're not going to regret it. Follow me everywhere. You can also check out my show, That's Based with Caleb Salvatore. Episodes air every Saturday at 9 a.m. Central Standard Time. Video on Rumble, audio on Spotify, Spreaker, Apple Podcasts, and iHeartRadio. Outlawstreamers.com to learn more. That's the network we're on. They don't let us post full episodes to YouTube. You go check it out. You'll see why. That's Based with Caleb Salvatore every Saturday, 9 a.m. Central Standard Time, wherever we're not banned, which unfortunately YouTube is just one of those places. We do post clips of it here, 10 a.m. Central Standard Time on this YouTube channel. It plays by YouTube's rules. It gives you enough of a taste of what you're getting into. Go check those out, see if you like them, and give the show a full listen. The full listen it deserves. You can also go to my website, which hopefully it's up by the time this video airs because I've had so many problems with it, CalebSalvatoreComedy.com for booking, dates, and merch, and much more. Not really. It's really just those three things, but that's okay too. Click one of those two videos over here. Go see what else I got. Please, just like, subscribe, watch it, share it around. Cheat on your taxes, not your spouse. Peace out and stay based.